Twitter, one of the few remaining tech companies, maybe the only, that hasn't purged Alex Jones in the last week. That doesn't mean that freedom of speech is safe on the platform. Far from it. Peter Van Buren, for example, is a former State Department employee and author. He says he was banned from Twitter for life for having a political debate on their platform. Peter Van Buren joins us tonight to explain what exactly happened. Peter, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
As honestly as you can, tell us why you were banned from Twitter.
There was a discussion going on among journalists about whether they had any culpability in bringing America to war. This followed the president's statement that some of the journalists are enemies of the people. And I joined in and explained that while I was a State Department official in Iraq, I often lied to journalists on behalf of the government, that I misled them, and this was part of my job, and I eventually blew the whistle on myself and on the State Department and came clean on this. Many of the journalists overreacted, or reacted, I should say, to that and claimed that they were not responsible for fussing out these lies, that in fact it was my fault for not being truthful to them. I replied that it was their responsibility as journalists to hold the government to account, to be more skeptical of government, and Twitter being Twitter, it kind of went downhill from there.
Well, let me just note that virtually the entire Washington establishment, and especially journalists, are reflexively pro-war in the creepiest possible way. So I think you're absolutely right on that, I having seen it for 30 years. But where was the point where you crossed the line in Twitter's view that you got banned for life?
Well, that's the interesting part, is that I don't really know. Over the course of 7 years on Twitter, I've sent out over 29,000 tweets, and I don't know which one actually crossed the line because Twitter has not responded, and Twitter doesn't tell you why you are banned. I simply received an automated response saying that something I had written incited people to silence through fear. One of my tweets that was reported, it was an attempt at a bad joke. It's maybe not the most proud piece of writing I've done. I was watching Fear the Walking Dead while I was tweeting, and I wrote something about maybe someone will come eat your face. That apparently consists of violence the same way, I guess, that when you tell someone to go jump in a lake, that consists of an invitation to go swimming.
You don't seem threatening to me. Very quickly, do you think if you'd been advocating for war with Iran, like Bill Kristol and everybody else in Washington, that you would have been banned?
Oh, absolutely. Advocating for war is perfectly acceptable within Twitter's boundaries. The two people who were banned alongside of me, one president of the Ron Paul Institute and another person who runs antiwar.com, were both banned for supporting me. Look, the main thing is not for me to be here talking about what I tweeted. The main thing would be if people could actually read those tweets and decide for themselves whether I was worth following. I've been stopped from tweeting twice in the last 6 months. Once when I visited Iran, and the government of Iran blocked Twitter for everyone. And once here in the United States, where Twitter blocked me.
But you'll notice that the neocon warmongers never get banned, ever.
Never.
Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Irony of ironies.